So we're going to look at some angles. Okay, angles in 2D shapes. So we'll start with the triangle. The sum of all the corners, or the angles, in a triangle is always 180 degrees. That means that the angles in a rectangle or a square or a quadrangle, any four-sided shape, is 360 degrees. Because remember, a triangle is half of a square or a rectangle. So it's all 180 degrees. A plus B plus C equals 180. And it doesn't matter what shape the triangle is. Okay? Here's a couple to try, a few to try. What's the missing number? What's A in that one?
80.
80. 60 plus 40 is 100. 180. What about this one?
50.
Okay, we'll come to that in a second because it's this one that's next on the answer sheet. So what's that answer for C here? Use calculator if you need to. So we've got 120
12.
plus 28, that's 148.
32.
32. Yeah, and we've already said, somebody's mentioned it is 50. That's easy, isn't it? Yeah? Just all you've got to remember, triangle 80 degrees, 180 degrees. Square, rectangle, quadrangle, quadrilateral, 360. These are the types of triangles. Now, you don't particularly have to know all these names of the triangles. It very rarely asks you the names. But just so we've got an idea of what they look like. This is a right angle triangle, which means that this angle here is always going to be 90 degrees. Okay? 90 degrees. The isosceles triangle and the equilateral triangle are probably the two that you're going to need to understand, or you're going to need to learn. The isosceles triangle has two equal sides. Okay? The base can be different, can be longer, can be shorter, but these two sides are equal. That's what these little lines mean. Okay? So in that instance, it means the two angles at the bottom are the same. The angle at the top will be different. If it's an equilateral triangle, all three sides, all three angles are exactly the same. Okay? And then this is what's called a scalene triangle, pretty uncommon. It's like a triangle that's kind of a little bit, to use the word we had before, wonky, where all the sides and all the angles are different. So they're the types of triangles that you'll need to recognise. Okay? Four-sided shape, four straight sides, four angles, and all the angles add up to 360 degrees. That's not a square, it's not a rectangle, but it's a four-sided shape. And you can see there's a right angle, there's a right angle, but those two angles are not. One's bigger than 90, one's slightly less than 90 degrees. What's angle X? What's angle X?
105.
105. Yeah. All them added together, taken away from 360. 105. About that one there then. What's this angle here? The missing angle there. What's that one? Ooh.
137.
137. 90 plus 90 is 180. Plus 43. 190. And finally the one on the far side. Now that's a bit trickier, isn't it? It's a bit trickier. What's that shape made up of? A couple of triangles, isn't it, there actually? A couple of triangles, yeah. So we're missing B and D. We're missing B and D. But looking at that shape, has it got a line of symmetry, do we think?
It's got two lines of symmetry.
Yeah, it's got two lines of symmetry, isn't it? Across there and down there. So that means B and D are going to be the same size, surely.
127. Yeah.
127. Yeah, 127. So they're fairly straightforward. 360 degrees in a four-sided shape. You can see we've got some different shapes. 180 degrees in a triangle. What about a circle? There's 360 in a circle. Okay? There's 360 degrees in a circle. That's a quarter of a circle. There's your 90 degrees. Your 90 degree angle. Okay? How many degrees are shown by the yellow arrow? How many degrees is that? Would,
270.
would it be 360 minus 90?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's your 90 degree, which makes up that bit. So from there, round to there, is 270 degrees. Yeah, it's 270 degrees. Fairly straightforward stuff. Yeah. All you've got to remember, circle, 360 degrees. And we know that because when you turn 360, you turn the full circle, don't you? So we'll look at a couple of exam style questions then. What is the size of the angle marked X? That angle there. There then. We haven't come across this, have we? We haven't come across it. So we've got a straight line. We've got that line there, which forms part of a triangle. We've got this one here as 71. We've got that one there as X. But what have we got here? What's that?
190.
Yeah, it's half a circle, isn't it? Yeah, it's half a circle. So that bit there, in total, is 180. We know that bit's 71. 109. Yeah. So don't let the pictures fool you. And again, it's like what we've had to think about with all the math stuff that we've looked at, is looking at the picture. What have we actually got? If we were to draw that there, we've got half a circle. 360 in a full circle, 180 in half a circle. Slightly more tricky. Work out the value of X. Slightly more tricky. Okay? You've got to do something else first. It's going to be more than 90. It's got to be more than 90, because remember, 90 degrees would have been like that. So it's obviously got to be more than 90. How are we going to work that one out? Do you think we need to find this first?
Yeah.
Of course we do. Because once we've found that, we're in this situation. 63 plus 58, 121, 121. So that means that this angle is
59.
59. So that means that X is going to be
121.
121. Yeah, does that make sense? Yeah. So in this particular one, we had to work out what that was first, which was 59. Then we know that that in total is 180. Take away the 59 for this bit, 112. We know it's right because it's bigger than 90. It's bigger than 90 degrees. Work out the missing angles. A, what's A? What's A?
Yeah.
70 degrees, yeah. 120 plus 80 plus 90, there wasn't a number there, but that little square box means it's 90 degrees. Now then, two angles to work out for this particular triangle there, what we've got there. But what does that mean? What does that mean? That looks to me like both sides are the same, So both angles must be the same. It looks like an isosceles triangle to me. So what's that going to be? What they're going to be at the bottom?
55. Yeah, 55.
55. 180 take the 70 is 110. So those two angles split between them 55 degrees each. 55 degrees each. Alright, let's mix it up a little bit, make it a bit more tricky. An isosceles triangle is shown below. What is the angle labelled A? Okay, so this is where we had to know what an isosceles triangle was. So, what do we need to find out in this particular question? Well, I'll give you a clue to start with. You need to find that angle first. Yeah, you need to find that angle first. So give us a shout when we've got that angle.
50. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 50 degrees. Full circle would be 360. Take away the bit that's cut out, which is... take away this bit, which is 310. So it means the bit that's cut out is 50 degrees. Now we know that's 50, we can work out these two, because it's an isosceles triangle. These are going to be the same. So those two angles, what are those two angles?
65.
65 each.
Yeah.
There we go. 180 in the triangle, minus the 50 that we know there gives us 130. The 130 split between these two angles is 65. So now we can work out that angle. Okay? Now we can work out A.
295.
360 minus the 65 gives us the 295. That's all we need to know about angles.